Hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Misclick Podcast.
Good morning / evening, wherever you are listening in the universe.
/ afternoon, I guess.
/ second
Slash
breakfast.
Afternoon, yep. Possibly midnight, who knows?
Yeah, it's
No one
actually
knows for
approaching
certain.
midnight over here.
And it's only 9:23 a.m. here.
Man.
Yeah, gotta love time zones.
Time
Plus,
zones
I'm like
suck.
a day ahead, so I'm pretty much in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
What's the future like? Does it feel like the
Well, it's
past?
cold, and there are no flying cars yet, but I did see way too many fidget spinners for just no
Ugh,
fidget
those
spinners.
things.
They're like, I don't know, they're just horrible.
Interesting. Gonna write that down until I see one. Like, I knew it.
Yeah, I've yet to experience one like in reality. I've only seen videos and
Same.
Yeah.
Fidget spinners are actually proven to be alien technology here in the future, so that's why everyone's obsessed with them, you see.
Wow. Alien technology. Anyway, we are here to bring you discussions and news about video games, content creation, and everything in between, but mostly that. And something I thought about, we are also the podcast that is less likely to ever host a live panel or recording in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
Because that would mean two
well.
of us would have to travel across the world.
Ugh.
So
I'd have to
it's-
start like
happen.
swimming through the Pacific Ocean.
Oh yeah, to save the money.
Oh yeah, because planes are expensive. I mean, why fly when you can just swim?
Exactly, there's water enough.
Exactly. I can hitch a ride on a dolphin or some shit.
Must
I'd
be
love to
possible.
see that.
Of course it's possible. I saw it in Finding Nemo that one time, like
Oh
15 years ago.
Just keep swimming and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds easy
And now
enough.
it's stuck in my head. Damn it.
So, what have we all been playing recently? Anything interesting?
Me personally, I have been playing a lot of Overwatch because of the new
Ooh, yeah.
anniversary event.
That is right.
It's a lot of fun. They've added a lot of new arcade modes. So now
Nice.
there's like a 3v3 system where if you're successful with one hero, then they lock you out of picking that hero again. So I find that really challenging because sometimes I'm successful with like very specific heroes, and then when you can't pick them anymore, it's like, damn it, I'm screwed. They were my main.
Yeah, then you have to train someone else.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a 1v1 mode where you get to pick from a free heroes, a selection of only 3 heroes that they give you, and you basically just gotta kill the other person before they get you, and whoever wins, I think it's 5 rounds wins.
Cool.
So that's what I've been up to, as well as trying to get all the skins for everyone, because goddamn, they're so cool.
Yeah, I've only seen a few, and I don't want to spoil everything, so I kind of play it blind, and just with every loot box I get, I'm like, ooh, is it a new one? But it never is.
Oh yeah. It's like, is it new? It's a legendary. Oh wait, no, it's just a fucking duplicate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So many duplicates. Duplicates are just Satan.
But yeah, I mean, I've been hearing good stuff about the anniversary patch.
Yeah, so far it's been really fun. I know that they've changed. They haven't so much changed the gameplay, but they have with the arcade modes, but they have added a few little bits and pieces to maps. So, say for example, if you go to one of the Oasis maps, typically it would only just say now arriving at Oasis, but since the new patch, you're actually being more specific of which exact map you're on, which I think is really good because I'd always get confused, what map am I on? I have to figure out which person I'm going to play as for this specific map.
Ah, interesting.
So I found that like a really good change.
Yeah. I tried to play a bit of Overwatch today, but my PC is coming to an end, and good news is I've bought a new one that I will be getting next week.
That's good.
But I just really wanted to play the anniversary thing now, but as I was getting ready for a game, I mean, my computer can only handle playing against the AI on easy for some reason.
That's strange.
But even that, it found a match and it was loading the map and all that. But then it said in the corner, "You will be kicked soon due to inactivity." But I'm like, it's loading. I can't do anything. And then it kicked me before it even loaded.
Damn. That sucks.
Yeah, that's rough. I didn't really feel welcomed.
Aww.
Your computer loads so slow that it kicks you out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Fuck, when you say it like that, it's hilarious.
Yeah. But I mean, I tried playing with a friend the other day, and it lagged so much that even if I didn't move and just stood still, I would still move. Like, it would lag me. It couldn't really place me.
Yeah, I feel ya. That happens to me sometimes when I play Overwatch as well. Like, especially if I try to stream it with like a higher setting than what I usually do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because like I can only stream at 360p HD, or what my PS4 system assumes is HD. And if I go higher than that to like 720p, then I am just zooming all over the place, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
Lag is always fun to play with.
No.
It can work to your advantage or your disadvantage. Typically, it's to your advantage, though, because you're jerking all over the place and people are trying to just kill you, and they thought they killed you, but you were actually over in the corner somewhere running into the wall or something.
Yeah. Until, in my case, a roadhog decides to come and say hello, then I'm kind of screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's got the old hook, so he can just, hook you in and be like, no, stop moving, die. So, yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Nice. What about you, Cracker?
Oh, lately I've been sucked way too deep into Stellaris. Been trying to pick up Stellaris since I've had it for a while and I haven't really played it very much, and I decided to try playing it, and before I knew it, like 8 hours had gone by and I had almost already lost the game, and I was like, oh my god, I'm doing so bad. Like, it's even the tutorial stuff, it's a lot to absorb, and like it's kind of funny because like I play Civ 5 a lot, and I didn't realize how much hand holding and like automation there was in Civ 5 until I played Stellaris, and like all the things that, like, one of the major things that you can have you can do in Civ 5 is you can, like, when you create your own little cities, you can have it micromanage itself, so it'll produce like the little structures in the city on its own, accordance to its needs or your needs. Whereas in Stellaris, it doesn't have that function. So I literally played the whole game without like making a single structure on any of my planets, and I was wondering why the heck I lost so badly. Because I kind of neglected that part. And there's a lot more to it. The battles, fortunately, or unfortunately for some people, I don't know. Some people really like space battles, and I like them too, but they go by pretty fast in this game because it's not a space battle game. It's 4X, so
yeah.
But the time that just goes, like, I play on the fastest you can, and like you're just trying to explore stuff, and for some people it's conquer stuff, I guess. I usually kind of play the guy who gets all the research and technology, and then somebody comes in later with all their warships and totally crushes me late game because I don't have any more defense. I'm more of a pacifist when it comes to 4X games, which probably is not the greatest thing in the world. But
you have a heart of gold.
Yeah. It's like, man, I just want to advance technology and make my culture all artistic and shit.
Man.
And then these guys, all these laser beams come in there like, no, bitch, you're gonna die now.
No.
Fuck your
You know,
culture.
I think the same thing happens to me whenever I play one of the like civilization games. I feel this feel.
Yeah, well, Civ is a little more forgiving with that. Stellaris is maybe not so much, because, like, in Civ you have multiple victory conditions, being you can be diplomatic, or you can build wonders, or you can be cultured, or you can destroy everybody. Stellaris is more you destroy everybody as a team, or you just take up the most space, which usually involves destroying people anyway. Because to take up the most amount of space, you have to get people to move out, and they're not going to do that on their own unless you like assimilate them, like literally and figuratively. There are nations that will literally assimilate a whole other nation, like into the hive mind, and then there's ones that will figuratively make them like their slaves, so that way it just becomes part of their nation, which is terrible.
Jeez.
Oh dear.
The one game I'm playing now, there's an insanely overpowered computer that has like an insane military army, and this guy who was like really cool, he's like, hey dude, can I make my home next to yours, and you know, we'll be friends and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, dude. You know, he moves in next to me, and the planet like right across from me. I'm like, okay, so I got a homie now forever. Well, big military nation like enslaved them, so now they're like right next to me, and I'm just totally super boned probably now. I'm probably gonna die within a couple of years, I imagine, because the military, that big military nation, is across the solar system, but now they're knocking like literally on my front door, and when you are next to somebody, they don't like it because they want your space. And it's like, you know, it's kind of like that feeling when you cram like 5 kids in one room with like one bed, and they're all fighting over the bed and their space and their toys and stuff. It just don't go well.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But despite my struggles, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's just time just goes, and I don't know where it goes. It just needs to stop disappearing. I feel like I'm doing like a few things, and the hours just keep going, and I'm losing track of time. Like last night I was up till like almost 4 a.m. and I had to work today, and I was half dead at work. And it was bad. Because I tried to keep my eye on the time, and I'm like looking up, okay, it's 11 o'clock. I'll just play a little bit, and a little bit turned into like 4 more hours. I look up, and it's like 2:30. I'm like, oh crap, okay, I just got to do a couple things. And then 3:30, and then I was just like, okay, I need to stop.
I feel this feel.
It's amazing though. It's a great 4X game made by Paradox. I think that's like their first venture into 4X games, and it's fantastic though.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you like Civilization. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Go ahead.
It's just interesting because 4X is a genre I've never really touched. I haven't even played Civilization or anything.
It's definitely not for everybody. I think.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the impression I get is that it requires a lot of patience and reading, and there's a high learning curve.
Patience, yes. Reading, yeah. And learning curve, yeah. I kept thinking of ways to refute those statements, but I kept thinking over it again. I'm like, no, there's a lot of reading. No, you gotta be patient. no, it's pretty high learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to get into 4X games because of that. Like their entryway is like a pretty high barrier, and nobody really tolerates that too much. There's only a few people that, or like only like, I don't know, like a quarter the amount of people that actually like play them actually get into them. So which can be very dangerous to buy because some of them are pretty expensive. Like Civilization 6, for instance, is still like $50, I think, even now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They're always pretty expensive because of how huge they are. It's insane, and the games span days. Like I'm maybe halfway or 3/4 through my game, and I've played it for like probably 12 or 13 hours or something like that.
Wow.
It can take it depends too, I guess. If I was a more militaristic nation, I probably could have just built up an army and just crushed everybody within, maybe 8 hours or so. But, it's complicated. And I don't think they have multiplayer in yet, because multiplayer is very complicated with those types of games too. Because it acts more like a board game like that.
Oh, yeah.
Civ 5 was good at acting as... Civ 5 was pretty great for multiplayer because it did act like a simultaneous board game. When everybody had taken their turn, so to speak, it would shift to the next day or month or week, or I forget what timekeeping system they use. I don't know if it's years or days or months. I think it might be months, actually. But anyway, yeah, it's they're hard to deal with, but if you like board games, they're probably a little closer to maybe something like that. Like, this is a lot like Eclipse, which is a board game I've played before, and it has a similar type system where you're trying... It's a 4X board game. It also has 300 or 400 pieces, and which is a lot, by the way. It's a lot of pieces for a board game, and it's the similar thing. A little more diluted because it's obviously a board game versus a computer game.
Yeah.
But Eclipse was pretty ahead of its time when it came out, because it allowed you to research technology and stuff. And typically in board games, you don't research squat. There's no upgrades or anything. I mean, there's small things you can add or stuff like that. But this out loud customization of your ships and your nation, for lack of better words. I guess it'd be species, possibly species/nation, depending on who you're talking to. There's, in both games, there's subsets, different nations of humans, but then there's a whole nother, then there's these crazy species that do things. I'm playing a peacock species right now, and because I like peacocks.
That's random as hell.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's cool. It's not for everybody, but it's super cool if you can sit down and try to be patient with it and try to figure things out. And there isn't a whole lot of concrete guides to win. It really is all over the place, because you're dealing with different AIs and stuff like that, and they all behave differently. Ideally, they behave in a way you can deal with, because there was a bug in Civ 5 where Gandhi at a certain technological period would actually just start nuking everybody.
Yeah,
Oops.
that's true.
And he wasn't supposed to do that. He's supposed to be pacifist, not a nuclear org. Yeah.
I know whenever I play Civ 5, Gandhi always just tries to kill me. Every time. I don't know why. Even when I try to be super duper friendly with him, he always wants to kill me. It's
that's sad.
What do you want from me, Gandhi? What do I have to do to make you love me?
Oh dear. As always, I've been playing a little bit of a lot. I haven't found a game since Breath of the Wild that I've really spent a lot of time on and really dived into. So for me, I have been playing Mario Kart 8.
Deluxe or the normal one?
The normal. I don't own a Switch.
Oh, okay.
So it's just the one on the Wii U. I realized that I didn't have the DLC. So I thought, hey, why the heck not? I mean, 4 more cups with 4 new stages in each, plus a lot of new characters to play, including Link for some reason, and a couple from I guess so, and also a couple from Animal Crossing. So I feel like it's slowly becoming more of a Nintendo Kart than just Mario Kart. Especially also with the Deluxe Edition, which includes the Splatoon characters.
Oh, that's right. They have the Splatoon characters. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and levels too. So it's been a lot of fun. I mean, you can never really be in a bad mood and play Mario Kart. At least when you play it on the easier levels. when you put it up to 200cc, it becomes absolutely brutal. It is such a game changer. You wouldn't believe it. Because in 200cc, you actually have to brake. In most Mario Kart games, you can just like hold the button and then just drift at the right times and you'll be fine. But here you are so fast you have to brake, pretty much.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Sounds it.
Yep. So I've just been playing the new courses and having a lot of fun with it. And the game is so pretty. My God, every time I boot it up and just see the small preview before the race begins itself, it's just, wow, it's so pretty. The graphics are great. And that's, I mean, I think that still holds up today. I mean, it's a Wii U game and everything, and I'm just floored every time I see it because all the colors and the lights, and it's in HD, man. Mario Kart in HD. It's great. So I've been playing that, and inspired by that and the Animal Crossing characters and the stages, I decided I actually wanted to pick up Animal Crossing again. I haven't touched it for a year, so my town was a bit, wow, you've been gone for a long time, man. Were you on a vacation? Like, yeah, for a whole year. I don't know how.
As you do.
As you do, of course. I'm the mayor of the town. I can do what I want. So yeah, I try to check in on that daily. Sometimes I forget, but that's fine. I mean, every time I talk to the secretary in the game, she is like, "There's still a lot you could do with your town." Like, yeah, I know, but I'm not very good at it. I don't know what to do.
You know, games like that remind me a lot of like the old Nintendogs games. Because like, you know,
yeah.
Because you gotta check in on that stuff every day to make sure nothing's, you know, being set on fire. So then when you go away for a long time and you come back, it's like everything is chaos.
Yeah, it's Tamagotchi all over again.
Yeah, I probably have a few forgotten Nintendogs on my old Nintendo that broke.
Oh.
R.I.P. those Nintendogs.
R.I.P.
Rip in pieces.
Yes. So mostly I'm just logging in and then, you know, dig up the fossils and either donating them to the museum or selling them if they have them already. Get all the fruits from the trees and sell it, and then pay off my loan. And then when I paid off that, then upgrade my house so I'm on a new loan, and then get money and pay that off. So it's just a whole circle of nothing, really. But it's very relaxing if you're into that kind of games.
Yeah, it sounds it. I mean, from what you're telling me, like, as I said earlier, it does remind me a little bit of Nintendogs, and that could be pretty relaxing. So, it sounds like this is, you know, on the same wavelength as that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Minus the whole, like, you have to look after this dog or it will run away and not love you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that used to be the case in the GameCube one, I think. Probably also the DS one, I don't know. I've only played like the GameCube version and now the 3DS version. But I think in the older games, people would be like, "You never talk to me, now I'm moving." So, oh, okay, see ya. But in New Leaf on the 3DS, they'll be like, "I have made my decision. I will be moving on this day." And then you can say, "Please don't leave." And they'll be like, "Oh, okay, you do care. Okay, I'll stay then." So yeah, I've had that a few times where people are like, I need to do more in my life, so I'm moving. Please don't go. Oh, okay, I'm staying. So that's as dramatic as it gets.
No life goals for you. You're staying with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, God. You're mine. You can never leave this town.
So messed up.
Best mayor ever.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I guess it'd be worse if you had to like bribe them with things or something to keep them to stay.
I guess.
That would be kind of messed up. I mean, you can't. They'd be like playing as a male with like extreme, I don't know, like abandonment issues.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is when they say, "Oh, hey, we should talk. I invite you home. How about we meet in like 3 hours at 6 p.m." And I'm like, sure, I'll remember that. Then at 9 p.m., where I'm about to go to bed, I'm gonna be like, oh fuck, I was supposed to meet with this person at 6. Oh shit.
Oops.
That happens all the time. I can't make that kind of a commitment.
You can't make a commitment of like meeting somebody in 3 hours.
It's just when I'm done playing the game, I'm done. I don't think about returning to it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
When I've done all the daily chores I feel like I should do in Animal Crossing, it's not like I want to return and do... I mean, what should I do, really? So just forget that I made that made that commitment.
It's kind of how I felt about WoW for a little while. It's like, I done my daily quest. Oh, how do I do? Nothing. Okay, see you tomorrow.
I'm the same with Hearthstone, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The daily quests.
Because you get like daily quests for that, and some of them you just can't be bothered with, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
some are
play
just...
the Tavern Brawl to win a free pack, and then the Tavern Brawl is an absolute nightmare, so it's like, never mind. It's always tomorrow.
I haven't played Hearthstone in a long time.
Same. It's been forever since I played.
So, yeah. Nice. We have prepared a discussion topic today, and guys, real talk, we should really stop talking about copyright stuff. we don't know shit about it.
It's a mysterious beast.
It is.
Very.
It is. And this one is no exception. Because this is based on an article posted on Destructoid in February, so it's a bit old, but it's still relevant to this day. Because it's about content ID on YouTube, and how it not only screws YouTubers, but also the publishers of indie games. Because I know the two of you have actually had content ID claims on your content, but we'll talk more about that later. It's no secret that Let's Plays is a thing that has come to stay, and it's no secret either that some indie games out there have benefited from it heavily. For instance, Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a massive success, massive franchise even. You can't go into a GameStop or EB Games anymore, and there'll just be Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise. I think that's crazy.
It's like cringy, but yeah, yeah.
The same goes for Minecraft. Also started in the game, a huge thing now.
Yeah, Minecraft is damn big. They have stuff everywhere. I've seen books in Barnes and Noble and Walmart and toys, and Minecraft is unbelievably large now.
So they definitely benefit from it, and so there's kind of been this weird under the hood symbiotic relationship between Let's Players and developers, because Let's Players are always looking for the next big viral game to cover, and indie developers are looking for publicity. As long as Let's Players don't become full of themselves and demand money to play their games, and the developers don't start claiming any and all videos through YouTube's content ID system, everything is well and good. And then we have Party Hard, which is this indie game that was developed and released in 2015. It generally received praise, and especially for its soundtrack. The music in the game was so good that alone has won a few awards, and the game's publisher, TinyBuild, even states that the soundtrack was what sold the game, quote unquote. And to quote the original article on Destructoid, the soundtrack as shipped was licensed from run-of-the-mill licensing sites, and TinyBuild was given a catch-all license in case YouTube or any other content ID system came a knockin', quote-unquote. Now, finding music for your production on various websites can be tricky, since they're all handled on a case-by-case basis. You pick a song you want, then you find the license to suit your needs. I've done this myself in some productions. Even for my older videos, I used it for like the outro song. I found that on a website. In case of using it as part of your game soundtrack, you would of course need to purchase a bigger license. For instance, for video games, one you can find on Audio Jungle is called Music Mass Reproduction, which is a license that can also be used for TV and movies, so that's of course a very expensive one. But now that Let's Plays is becoming something that everyone can literally do, as a game developer, you'd need a different license for your music. For that, you would need a license where users can have an unlimited audience size for online broadcasts, quote unquote. Since music is now not only being used in your production as a game developer, but is also part of a lot of other people's productions in a way. Party Hard uses music from a website called Shockwave Sound, where they purchased the widest license that allowed the users to do anything they wanted with the song, except selling it or sampling it. If a YouTuber got an automated copyright claim, they could then get it removed if they disputed the claim. For the lucky few who can make a living on YouTube, getting a content ID match immediately on your new video can be quite damaging actually, as it holds back on your revenue until the case has been done. Not only that, but they also risk getting a copyright strike on your channel, which is a lot more serious situation to be in. If a game like Party Hard, for instance, makes a lot of YouTubers get content ID on their videos, they're less likely to keep making videos on it. Word will spread that this game gives you content IDs, and Let's Players simply won't cover your game. In the case of Party Hard, the CEO of TinyBuild said, and I quote, "On Twitch we had insane coverage, but on YouTube it was dead because YouTubers would start getting copyright strikes." Even though they had the ability to dispute the copyright claim, YouTubers were reluctant to do it simply because of the lengthy process it is. And for those unaware of how the process of disputing a content ID match works, I'm not quoting directly from the Destroyed article because this is a long one and I was not able to put it in better words than they did. YouTubers can dispute the claim, at which point the claimant has 30 days to either release the claim, which means agree with you and drop the content ID match. They can uphold the claim or submit a copyright takedown request, which essentially annihilates your channel with a copyright strike. If they uphold the claim, you can appeal the upholding, which gives them another 30 days to either release the claim again, submit a delayed copyright takedown request, which gives you 7 days to apologize and give up so your channel isn't ruined with a strike, or submit a copyright takedown request. If you get a copyright strike, then you must file a counter notification, which gives the claimant 10 days to provide YouTube with evidence that the claimant has initiated a court action to keep the content down. You see where I'm going with this? This is very complicated.
Yeah, it's a pretty shitty process, honestly.
Absolutely.
And I understand the reason why they have it, but it's hard to make it work perfectly without much human interaction.
Mm-hmm. Basically, it takes multiple stages of arbitration during which all revenue on the video is held by YouTube. Best case scenario, the claimant gives up at stage 1 and you get your video back along with the revenue held during the process. Worst case scenario, if you follow this process all the way to the end, you've missed out on 70 days of revenue.
Jesus Christ.
That is a lot. And
it's way too much.
Exactly. And the nature of American copyright law means there's a good chance your channel will be stuck with a copyright strike.
Yep.
Yep. While some popular YouTubers did give Party Hard some coverage, a lot of small to medium-sized channels did not, as the content ID system is affecting specifically these kinds of channels a great deal. In order to counter all this, TinyBuild they hired a composer to rewrite the entire soundtrack to Party Hard and then make a YouTube mode in the game with the new soundtrack. This did give the game some healthier coverage on YouTube, but this comes at a time where it's not as relevant. Missing out on a lot of coverage for your game at launch can be crucial. So the damage at this point is already done, more or less.
I get the point of like how like it would affect smaller channels and like bigger channels, because say for example if like someone like Markiplier covered it in typically they kind of get off like scot-free, considering how massive they are and like how large their audience is and like how much they make and whatnot, whereas with like the smaller guys that have like say a few hundred or like a couple thousand subscribers, then it's they get hit hard by these sorts of things. And
Exactly.
It's, like you said, it's not an easy process to dispute a copyright claim. I mean, in some cases, they're completely false.
Exactly.
So, because me personally, I had to deal with a false copyright claim a few weeks back. And,
that's recent.
Yeah, a few weeks back on one of my Mass Effect Andromeda streams. It was just some random person just, trying to claim money. But
yeah,
the process, like, while even though it was false, it was like, it was still quite the hassle to deal with, because, once they claimed it, then their claim disappeared, but then that still left me with, like, losing my ability to the live stream for, like, 90 days until the dispute was solved, but there was no more dispute, because they removed it. So I was, like, I was stressing out, trying to, like, contact YouTube support. So it's not an easy process for, like, the smaller channels.
No,
or
not
just
at
in
all.
general, really. I mean, it's a pain in the ass. So yeah, I do get that. How like the bigger channels probably wouldn't really need to fuss so much. Like, with games that have like copyrighted music or whatever, or like licensed music. Like for example, Life is Strange. If a bigger YouTuber covers it, then they're fine, because you've seen like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, PewDiePie, those guys, they all covered the game, and they could like play the music and whatnot. But like if a smaller channel does it, then it ain't good. It ain't good for us.
Not at all.
I do get that.
I'd say it depends on what it is exactly. Like for content IDs, it's the opposite of that, really. When you're small, content IDs don't really matter, because you're not really losing any revenue unless you count the couple pennies you might make. The bigger channels have much more to sweat about that, because they're the ones making the thousands of dollars off videos like that. And
that's true.
But also they don't have to sweat it that much too, because they typically have like an MCN behind them that can help get rid of that stuff much easier than, because like we write all that stuff like offhand, we do research and all that. The MCN does that stuff for them, so they can swat those content IDs out of there pretty quickly, and that's why you don't have to deal with it. So I mean, yeah, they do have, the bigger channels do have more help and potentially lawyers and stuff like that to kind of deal with that. But the deadly stuff is the copyright strikes by far. Those are worse. Those can easily shut down a channel if you get three of them.
Pretty much like 3 strikes and you're out.
Yeah.
So.
Of course, if you're streaming, it's 1 strike, because they knock you out of streaming if you get 1 strike. So there's that
so
too.
Weird.
Yeah, it's definitely a little weird. Yeah, 3 strikes and you're out of your channel, but 1 strike and it will stop you from streaming anyway. So
I think that's what happened to me, because like I got my like whole right to like stream like completely revoked.
Yeah. So if you get a strike and you're a streamer, might as well be making your own grave at that point. Which is,
I mean, it's probably to avoid people like streaming movies or something like that.
Yeah. which a lot of people do, and a lot of people still do. If you go on YouTube Gaming, you'll see people streaming like Family Guy and The Simpsons
and SpongeBob. For some, like, I've seen 24-hour streams of SpongeBob episodes.
Yeah, I don't know how that stuff doesn't get taken down. Like, I sit there and I was like going through all seasons of Family Guy, and I'm like, that'll get taken down. I come back the next day, I look, and they're on like season 9. I'm like, oh, come on, guys. Really? How has this been running for 24 hours and nobody has stopped it by now?
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like the nature of YouTube is that it's either too strict or too lax. There's no middle ground. It's either like sending copyright strikes to small channels for playing a game that has some music in it, or it's allowing Family Guy live streams for more than 3 days. I mean, where's the middle ground here? Where's the line?
There
Apparently
really
there is
isn't
none.
one. Yeah. I mean, it's especially hostile for streamers, I think, too. And it's part of the reason I have kind of migrated to Twitch, is because, like, for people who make stuff like Let's Play video stuff, whatever, it's a little more forgiving. But, you know, for streamers, it's like, oh, one copyright strike, oh, no streaming for you. Or if you happen to hit something on your streams that gets it muted, we're gonna mute your entire stream now. And it's happened to me a couple times where I'd hit a copyright song on accident that somebody maybe requested, or even songs I don't know, because it's kind of all over the place with copyrights and content IDs sometimes. Like an example, like The Living Tombstone typically has content IDs, but some songs I've played he doesn't have content IDs on, and so it can be very variable. But this wasn't Living Tombstone this one time, but there was a time where I played a song, I forget what it was. It wasn't even something that I think would even have a content ID, and they muted my entire stream. My like 8 to 10 hour stream, and there was nothing I could do about it except it's just gone forever.
Oh man.
I mean, that's one thing I really didn't like, was because, you know, on Twitch they will mute you. They will mute the minute and a half or 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever that the song is playing. After that, you're unmuted, you know. And I can deal with that, you know. Not my entire 8 hours or 4 hours or however many hours is going to be
Or in your
lost.
case, like 12 hours or 24, 36.
Yeah. I mean,
That
one thing
would suck.
that is definitely shared between streamers and video creators alike is if you play something copyrighted that might ban your video is bad too, because it'll be like, oh, well, this is banned over in all these countries except Malaysia, and then you're like, well, who the fuck in Malaysia is gonna watch my video now? I mean, it might as well be banned everywhere at that point. It's just that, you know, it's so all over the place, and you never truly know what you're gonna run into ever. Like, you can try to be as safe and tiptoe around as much as you possibly can, but then one day then that person may or may not decide to content ID their music, and then all your videos get hit with that stuff, and then you gotta do this and do that, and oh, these are videos I did a year ago. You know, they may still be making you money, but not anymore. You know, it can cause a lot of problems, not only in the present but also in the future too, if somebody decides to change their mind somewhere along the way.
That's true.
It's a very wonky system, which I don't
Absolutely.
like. It's like they gave a kid a spiked baseball bat and the kid's just going around whacking people with it, you know, and you can't stop it. And sometimes it'll hit the right person, and sometimes it won't. And some certain people will get punished way worse than others, and others will get off scot-free. And if you throw money at the kid, he kind of goes away. You know, it's very all over the place as far as like just how what's the word for it? Well, whatever.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
messy
just-
process overall, really.
Yeah, it's messy all over the place. I mean, it's just less messy for bigger people because they have more money and more backing behind them. But, you know, for that one guy that stole stuff, or one guy and a baby or whatever, or two ladies and a baby, or just a baby in general. Like it's impossible to sometimes keep up with this stuff. You know, you're only like one or two or three people, and it just,
yeah, that's true.
It's just really messy, and there's no guidelines or anything. It seems like
with the bigger channels covering games, I mean, chances are that the developers and the publishers and whatnot, they have reached out to those people and be like, hey, play our game and everything, and then sure, they'll play it and all that kind of stuff. So it's kinda in a controlled environment that way.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just do it as a hobby and do whatever you want, then they are not under that kind of protection, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's true.
No,
but I'm also trying to wrap my head around the whole copyright thing as a concept, especially with music. I mean, if, for instance, your live streams, Krakka, where it got muted a big chunk of it, if not all of it, because of one song that was copyrighted.
Yeah.
I mean, one argument to have that kind of system would be that, oh, people would just watch that video to hear that song then. But I'm like, no one would do that. I mean, there's a dude talking over it. Why would you do that?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like that's very true. Like, like there's a lot of stuff that usually comes out that, like, even if the copyright song is in there, usually it's being talked over, and nobody's gonna sit there and listen to me or some guy or lady flap their gums over their song that they possibly want to hear. Why would the hell they do that?
Exactly. Chances are it's probably on Spotify. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Honestly, that's the only way to really describe the whole content ID match situation. It's just, you know, it's bullshit in general. Like, there aren't really any winners with those sorts of situations.
No.
Because, you know.
No, there definitely is. That's the company with the content ID is the winning company. It's winning this card.
That's true. That's true. But to be blunt, like, you know, pretty much everyone gets fucked in the ass by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially those troll companies that just claim content they do not own in order to steal the revenue for that up to 70-day period it can take. I mean, they really found a loophole there.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be worse before they changed it, because before they had it, so if you hit a content ID, like, they would immediately get the revenue from that point on, and they wouldn't even hold it. They would just get the money while it was in process, and then if you refuted it, you didn't get anything back anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So from my knowledge, and there's also a big extra part in the article that explains the new concept system a bit more, because they reached out to YouTube regarding all this. And I've also been hearing that they would change things, and instead of them gaining all the revenue, YouTube would hold it and then give it to whoever was right in this case.
Yeah.
But judging from that little piece of extra information, it's not a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Sadly.
No.
It's a shitty situation all around, really.
It's very painful, really, because as we can clearly see, both developers and Let's Players could benefit a great deal from this. And Tiny Build, being the cool guys that they are, they have clearly reached out and they approve Let's Players in general. Like, they realize that Let's Playing games around the launch and streaming and whatnot is basically free publicity and marketing for them.
That's true. Because, you know, like you said, you know, a lot of indie games that are, like, really, really popular now gain that popularity through Let's Players, you know? They wouldn't have been popular if not for them. So,
yeah,
it, you know, both parties benefit quite a lot from, you know, the whole... I guess it's almost like a collaborative effort, because, you know, one indie developer will reach out to a Let's Player and be like, hey, play my game, and they'll be like, okay, sure. So, both parties can, benefit from it.
Exactly.
You'd probably almost have to create your own music to like avoid that. I mean, that's that's why Undertale like playthroughs don't get any copyrights, because Toby Fox and his team just made everything. They didn't go through another company or whatever, so there's no content IDs to shut that stuff down. And if there was, you'd certainly see a lot of Undertale Let's Plays disappear off the internet.
Absolutely. That goes like a big chunk of all Let's Plays as a whole, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine if, like, some of the bigger stuff that's even played, like Minecraft is full of copyrights. Man, Minecraft would be dropped so fast, too.
Holy shit.
It would be bad. You'd see, like, tons of Minecraft videos, like, per hour to, like, almost none, if they had a content ID system in place for that game. It would be shooting themselves in the foot big time on that.
Yeah. And I mean, in the case of music, there's not really that much music in Minecraft, so it would be hilarious if that was what got content ID'd.
Yeah, I forget sometimes too that they have visual matches as well. Like I got a content ID before because I played Mega Man 9 on stream, and it was like I played one of the Robot Masters, which you do in Mega Man, and it's like, oh man, Capcom had to get this ID'd and had to block it because it was from their trailer. I'm like, well, no, duh, it's from their trailer. I bet half the stuff I played was in the dang trailer. And just it's some of it's so goofy, but there's not much you can really do about it sometimes.
I just wish that copyright laws would be a bit more
lenient,
soften up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not be so strict, because I mean, there's a lot of new trends happening in culture and whatnot. Let's Plays being one of them, where it's this sort of adaptive creativity, where you take something already existing and make something new out of it. And copyright laws and claims, content IDs, both visual and audio, they work against that, very much so.
Yeah.
And when you watch the videos that got claimed in this or that way, you can see that it's harmless. I mean, music in a game that made it get a copyright strike. I mean, that's nothing to do with the game, really.
No.
And yet it's like, nope, you can't watch that.
Honestly, the content ID thing's just shitty overall, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty much my only opinion of it, is that, no one really wins unless it's, the claimant wins somehow. But, like, overall, it's not... No one really wins from it.
And I can't imagine if the copyright laws were as strict as they are here as they are in some place like Japan, where like fan art and stuff like that is like pretty widespread and has sometimes made the game developers rich, because one example I could probably pull up is Toho, which the developer of the game is really bad at making art. No offense to him or anything. It looks okay, but it's not the greatest, and it's definitely not a huge selling point for the game. The game was good, but it part of the reason that it did get so popular in Japan is because people made so much art of the game, and it made people interested in what this art was, and then and then they found the game, and then like it all kind of funneled back into itself. The artists can make more money, and so can the developers. Like, it probably sure that's part of the reason why it's so popular even now, is because it's so prolific in not only the art world over there, but also in the red light district as well. There's mountains of that stuff too. That's also the other part of the reason, but we're not talking about that reason. But it like if that happened over here, it would have been shut down so fast. Like, nobody would be able to make anything. Like, we even had that humongous controversy about Overwatch and Blizzard and them being like, no, we can't have these characters sexualized. You know, they shut down everything as much as they could. Obviously, you can't shut down everything. But, like, that's a selling point, too. Regardless whether they want to recognize it or not. It's still another way that brings people back to the game.
I mean, even though, you know, like this, like you said, you know, they tried to shut all of that down. I mean, look at Widowmaker. I mean, just look at her. I mean,
like, if they didn't want that, then they should have put them all in like full body suits and, you know, not detailed their curves so well. Because I mean, people are going to do what they want to do, you know, regardless.
Rule 34, man.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Overwatch stuff, I mean, you know, someone's going to find some way to, you know, like, sexualize, or, you know, like, find some sort of, like, weird romantical ship thing and make it quite sexual. I mean, so many people have made, like, fan art of Reaper and Soldier 76, just, you know, bumping uglies. I'm not kidding. Like, I have seen multiple fan arts of those two just going at it.
Yeah.
And, you know, in a strange sense, you know, that's part of what brings people back to the game in a way.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, they like the characters that much that, you know, that draw them in those particular scenarios that, you know, they'll continue to love those characters, you know, come back to the game, play as those characters. So, I mean...
and pretend to bump uglies in the game.
Yeah, just like... Oh God.
That's going to be the next arcade mode.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I could go into like a whole diatribe about that sort of thing, but I won't. But yeah, that's my opinion.
It's all part of the fandom.
Yeah.
And the fandom never dies.
I feel like, you know, shutting that stuff down is, you know, it doesn't do much favors. Although Nintendo still seems to have the same stance even over in Japan.
Absolutely.
Even in Nico Nico Doga, which is like their version of YouTube, like Nintendo still goes, nope, can't show our stuff, guys, nope. And they're like the only company that does that in Japan, really. One of the very few, it seems like. Them and Sony. I think Nintendo and Sony are the two big perpetrators of a lot of the
Really?
copyrights and stuff. Yeah.
I thought it was Konami.
Konami was bad, yeah. I haven't dealt with them for a while because I can't remember the last time I played a Konami game. I'm trying to think. It's been a while for me. But I think maybe Capcom too. Maybe. Not sure. It's hard to say because I don't live in Japan, so I really don't know. I've only remember what a couple of people have told me or what I've seen. I can definitely confirm Nintendo, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And if people want to hear more about that, I refer to our previous conversation.
Yeah.
A previous podcast where we spent a long time talking about Nintendo takedowns. Very aggressive they are.
I always feel like it's more benefit to allow people to do as they wish, even the porn. Like it's
even the sexy, smutty fan art.
I don't think it's really hurting their bottom line at all.
Oh hell no! If anything, it's helping it. Jeez.
Yeah, that's
I mean
the
amount of Soldier 76 and Reaper fan art and Widow Tracer, so like Tracer and Widowmaker, you know.
Yeah.
Romantically involved and getting it on, that's helping. It's definitely helping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone loves those two. Like, they absolutely love them. Like, not even just in a, like, you know, romantic relationship sense. Like, just in general as characters, they love them. So, you know, that helps them in a sense. Even if they are like a little sexualized. I mean, Tracer's butt's still defined as hell. Not gonna lie, it's the booty is still there.
Oh god, I remember that controversy.
Yes, that
one of
was
the poses you could get to Tracer.
That was such a stupid thing too.
That was so dumb, and people were like, "It's
like,
not her. It's not in her character."
Yeah, it's like she has a butt. It's no big fucking deal. Everyone has butts. Some bigger than others. Some more defined.
I mean, come on, guys. This is Blizzard. Have you never played Warcraft and looked at the female characters?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, even the art in Hearthstone is sexy. Even the little noises that some of the female characters make when they die are so sexual.
Yeah.
Like you'll kill some like little card of like a dwarven like lady or whatever. As soon as you kill her, she makes the most sexual noise ever, and you sit there like, okay.
Oh, that's right. Don't they have that one card that's like the Minister or Mistress of Pain or something? And whenever
Yes,
oh yeah, they
Mistress
do.
of Pain.
She's like, oh yeah, or something like that.
Oh yeah. Oh Jesus Christ, no.
Just succubus in general from that game.
Yeah, that too.
There is a card called Succubus, I think. I could be wrong. There's one based off them. But yes, point is that Blizzard is no stranger to sexualizing things.
Oh, no. I mean, if you look at the succubus a warlock can get in World of Warcraft, one of its idle animation is her spanking herself.
Yep.
And moaning to it. So, there you go.
No, why?
Blizzard, you did this to yourself. Don't go backpedaling, don't even.
Oh god. I feel like this is a great time to, move on to the next thing. Because, oh my god, I don't need that mental picture.
Yeah, sorry, I totally derailed this conversation pretty badly.
Yeah, that was derailment for sure. Okay, let's get back on track. I mean, one last point I want to mention about Content ID is, I mean, it's no secret that YouTube and Google in particular are really fans of algorithms to do their work, and in the case of YouTube, they kinda need it because there are, I can't remember the stats, but there's like maybe it's like 2 hours of video uploaded every second to YouTube or something like that. It's crazy amount of videos that's being uploaded all the time. So they can't hire a big enough team to look through everything to check for copyright. It's not possible. So they do need an automated system of sorts. So they have created Content ID, but it has its flaws, and I can see that it's difficult to really find a perfect way to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, that was a can of worms. Let's try not to talk about copyright next time.
I was like thinking about cats like absent-mindedly, so as soon as I heard you say can, some part of my mind thought it said cat. This is the type of content to expect from me, guys. You're welcome.
Subscribe to Icewire today for more cats.
Cats and memes. That's my life.
Cats and memes. Okay.
If you want to ever hear about porn, you know where to find me. That's my contribution to today's porn talk. Freaking fantastic.
10 out of 10.
Do you still have Fabric on your streams?
No, of course not.
Oh God, no.
Mostly had to take that out because it was getting me way too many content ideas.
It was getting out of hand, dude.
That too, yeah. That and people were taking it way too seriously. I was like, nope, this has got to go.
Oh Jesus.
Dear. Anyway, late night talk, definitely. Let's move on to something a bit more not sexual. I mean, I guess it depends on what we have selected as our top 5, but
top 5 most sensual porn sounding effects in video games. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh, you should play Electronic Superjoy then. Holy fuck.
No.
Or the old
all
res.
The checkpoints. all the checkpoints is so funny. It's either a man or a woman going like, "Oh yeah." It's so funny.
Okay.
Never mind. That was
they released a res for the PS2 and like I think here with a vibrator attachment at some point in time.
Oh no!
Wasn't that a joke?
No. No, they actually did sell a vibrator with it. Not like a vibrator, but like it was supposed to enhance your experience.
Yes, and if people want to know more about that, they can look at that online. But I think we should try and not get derailed for the 4th time.
Yeah, let's...
On to the next thing.
On to the next thing. In spirit of what we talked about, I mean, the music part at least, we will be doing a extended top 3, which is simply going to be top 5 best video game soundtracks.
I'm so excited about this one.
Yeah. I thought that big categories like this, like soundtrack is a big one. There's also like graphics and story
intros,
and all that kind of stuff. Those categories need to be expanded to top 5s because there's simply too many good ones.
Yeah.
So that is what we are going to do. Just like last time, we have all prepared our own top, this time 5, of best video game soundtracks. And we will go through them one by one, from 5 all the way up to number 1. So, Icewire.
Yes.
You are so hyped.
Me.
What is your number 5?
Okay, so my number 5, even though it's not one particular game, but it's more like the whole franchise, would be the Fallout games. Cause like there's something about like the old sort of like 50s or whatever music, just playing in the background as you're exploring radioactive wasteland. I absolutely adore it. I mean, I haven't touched Fallout 3 yet, but I have played New Vegas and Fallout 4, and I absolutely adore the music in both of those games. Like, just they've picked the music so well, and like it works. It just works. It's so, I don't know, there's something about killing deathclaws and ghouls or like raiders to like really, really upbeat, happy sort of 50s music. It's so good. So that's my top 5.
I really.
Well, number 5.
Number 5, yes.
So
That's the top 5. The top 5 is the entire fucking franchise. Forget all my other picks. It's just Fallout. So that's my number 5 pick. Excuse me for my brain fart.
Nice. I remember I really got into the Fallout 3 soundtrack too. It's so good.
Yeah, I did for a while myself, and a lot of my friends kept bringing it up and stuff too. And I think the one I always heard was "I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire."
Oh, I love that one. That's my favorite. That one and The Wanderer. Like, I think that's from like the Fallout 4 trailers. Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, that is. It's just so good. So good. I could ramble forever about the music in the Fallout games.
I mean, the band that made I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire, they have a few... Yeah, those guys. They have a few other songs in the Fallout games. And what I love about at least the songs that they have in the Fallout games is that they have exactly the same structure.
Yeah.
I mean, they have first verse and chorus, second verse, chorus, and then some cheesy piece where it's like a voiceover, or what would you say? Just speech where he's repeating the verse or chorus or whatever.
Because, like, I know, and I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire, there's a voiceover where he's all like, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to set a flame in your heart. It's the cheesiest thing in the world, but at the same time it works and it sounds
good. Alrighty, cool. What about you, Krakka?
I want to preface this with, because I know there's going to be probably a lot of disagreement between all of this stuff for certain. Not between us, but between possible viewers and stuff. But I was going to preface this with one that my picks are kind of like what I remember the most and what's been impactful for me, I guess. I wouldn't necessarily consider them the best soundtracks out of all the games in existence. Obviously, there probably is a quantifiable better soundtrack, but and also, and I mentioned to you guys earlier, but I also wanted to mention that I wanted to give a shout out to like rhythm and music games, because it was so hard for me not to mention them for me, because they are like a huge part of my life. Like I love DDR. I loved playing like In the Groove, and I played a lot of Project Diva, and Rhythm Heaven was a fantastic rhythm game.
Yes.
And then Elite Beat Agents / Quendon was a fantastic game I picked up for the DS at some point, which if you haven't, you should probably check it out. It looks cheesy as hell, but it's fantastic. It's like the base for what OS is now, I guess. Unless OS was before that. I'm not quite sure. But those were omitted because those are like, those are actual like music, not game music-ish things. So anyway.
Yeah, that would be the same to like have Guitar Hero in it. Because it's all licensed songs. So
yeah, Guitar Hero was a big one too, yeah. Guitar Hero, I almost forgot about that, and like Rock Band and shit like that. It's fantastic games. But anyway, so my number 5, I couldn't pick just one. It was almost impossible. My number 5 has to be the Mega Man series.
Yeah, that's great.
The Mega Man, like every game had its like 2 or 3 like really good songs, and the other ones are pretty good. And the one. Man, it's so hard for me to pick just one of those I like the most. It might have been Mega Man 2 or 3, or it might have been my favorite, because I think one of the best Wily Castle themes came out of one of those. I forget which one now, because there's like so many different Wily Castle themes that I can't remember which ones go where.
Yeah.
But, just to remember a few, like Magnet Man Stage, Airman always had a good one. I had a deep love, still have a deep love for Spark Mandrills and from X. There's just so much good music from Mega Man. It is insanely hard to pick a single game in this series.
We picked all of them.
It may have kind of trailed off near the end, like probably after X3 it started going downhill a little bit, but still classic, still good. Never forget ever, and there's always tons of remixes to find out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Stuff, So that would be my number 5, is the whole entire Mega Man series, which is kind of huge.
Kind of huge.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, my number 5 is a game called VVVVVV.
Oh, dude, I almost mentioned that in mine too.
It can also be referred to as the letter V 6 times.
Yeah.
But with a soundtrack created by Soul-Eye, this was the first time I heard chiptunes being used in a modern game. It was also the first experience I had with a modern-like retro game, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, the instant nostalgia you get, and yet it's not even nostalgic because it's a modern game. I find that whole thing very interesting. But the game itself sends Captain Viridian out to find his lost crew members. Each crew member is trapped inside their own maze-like areas with corresponding music. And not only is the gameplay slightly different in each area, so is the music. The super upbeat, well-composed and catchy chiptune in each area makes each of them a joy to explore. And this is needed in a game like this, because you will definitely make all the deaths you will have feel slightly more enjoyable. You will die, and you will die a lot. But oh my god, the music is great. It's so good. So that is why I put the soundtrack in VVVVVV as my number 5.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I was agonizing with the fact that I wasn't going to mention VVVVV.
I mean,
also, may I just point out the title of that game? Because holy shit.
VVVVVV. It's because you play as Captain Viridian, and you have to rescue all the crew members, each with a name starting with the letter V.
Oh.
And also, if you look at it in written form, it looks like spikes. And spikes will kill you in the game a lot, and there are a lot of spikes.
Surprisingly.
And also, it kind of looks like arrows pointing up and down, and the jump is changing gravity. So you will walk on the roof, and then when you click jump again, you will go down, and everything will be normal. So there's a lot of symbolism in the name that I just found.
Yeah. I should also mention, if you like the soundtrack and you like metal, there's an alternate version called MMMMMM.
Nice.
6 M's, which is like a metal / power metal version of the exact same soundtrack, and it's
I need
fantastic.
to check that out.
I'll have to link it to you, and I can you can put a link to it on the description box whenever you get this up too, because it's really good. As long as you like metal, you'll like it. Definitely.
Awesome. Alrighty, Icewire, you're number 4.
Okay, so my number 4 is the Last of Us soundtrack. Now, it was completely done by Gustavo Santaolalla, who is an absolute bloody genius of like soundtracks, because just like I don't even know how to describe it, but like all like the instruments he uses and the way like the music is composed, with like the music slowly creeping in and creeping out during a cutscene or whatever, or like, you know, drums in the background when, you know, you're in stealth mode trying to like hide from whether it be humans or infected. It's so well done, and it's like the music has an emotion to it that like it mirrors whatever's happening in the game. So whenever there's a sad moment, you know, the music mirrors that, and if there's like a tense moment during between two characters, it mirrors that well. Or, you know, like in combat even, like, you know, trying to stealth your way around people, it mirrors that really, really well, and I really like that about the soundtrack. I mean, I even like bought the entire soundtrack. Like I loved it that much that I actually physically bought a copy of the soundtrack, because it's that good. So that's my number 4 pick.
It sounds very cinematic, the way you describe it, how it follows everything in the game.
Because like during a like conversation, I mean, spoiler alert, you know, just teeny little spoiler for those that haven't played, but there's a moment between Joel and Ellie that's really tense, and it like sort of has an impact on their relationship during the fall chapter, where you know, they're kind of at odds with each other, but there's this like really intense dramatic music that just sort of creeps in with like little sad undertones here and there, and it just works really well with what they're saying.
Nice. It sounds very good. I have not played the game, but I got it on my birthday, so now I will play it.
Yeah, the soundtrack is great as a whole. I mean, if you want something like, there are a few tracks where if you just want something peaceful to listen to, it makes for great background fodder. It really does.
Nice. Alrighty. Krakka, what's your number 4?
Oh boy. So this is going to be another series, a much smaller series, thankfully, than Mega Man was. So I could actually narrow down this a little better. But my 4th pick is going to be the Donkey Kong Country series.
Hey, good choice.
Yeah, they had a lot of memorable tracks. Like, and the tracks, even from the very first game, set the mood for each area almost perfectly. Like, you had like the clanky, rustic sounding like mine shaft levels. You had the underwater levels, which had that kind of like had the kind of like bubbly sound effects, but also like a very smooth, relaxing tone as you're riding on this giant swordfish and getting destroyed by pufferfish or other fish or snakes or eels. I kind of forget the enemies in the water area, but they were kind of nasty too. And then you had like Sticker Brush Symphony, which I don't remember if it came in the first game or the second game, but that was one of the ones too that I really liked because it set the mood. Like, it's like this really pleasant, chill music, and you're just jumping in barrels and going through like a humongous briar patch full of bees, and it was so much fun to play through these levels to this really chill music that was sometimes maybe a little opposite of what you may have been feeling, because there's a lot of times I know I was stressed the heck out because I'm trying to aim this barrel and there's like 20 billion bees between me and the next barrel, and if you don't do it at the right angle, you know you're dead because you can't do anything except just blast one barrel to the next. And you know, it had a lot of good themes. Even like the few bosses it had really good themes, which I can't remember the names of every theme they had in there, but yeah, it was very, very well done, and the mood was very well set for all those levels and stuff. And I've heard they actually improved on the original soundtrack in the Wii version, which I think was like I think it was like
Donkey Kong Country Returns.
There was another one. It was like I think it was Arctic Blast was the one I'm thinking of, but it might have been Returns too. I'm not sure. It's I forget because I haven't played them. I've only heard that they redid a lot of the original music from DKC 1 and some of the newer ones, but they're all pretty good. DKC 3 was probably a little weaker because I don't really remember much of the music from that. But 1 and 2 were good, and some of the newer ones are pretty dang good too. So
Nice.
Yeah, and that's I'll always remember one of the songs play, like me getting destroyed. Typically, most of the time, it's just me getting destroyed in that game. You spent so many times like just outright dying because you only had like 1 or 2 lives, and then you had to smack another barrel to get your bro, and then have him die again. And you're like, oh man, now he's gonna be stuck in another barrel, and it was fun. But anyway, so that's my choice. That's why I chose Donkey Kong Country series for my number 4.
Nice. Good to see some Nintendo titles in here. Because here is another one. My number 4 is Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know me well enough, I might as well just say it now. I completely adore the 3rd generation of Pokemon games. Not only did Ruby and Sapphire feel like such a massive step over Pokemon Gold and Silver, the music in particular sets that in stone, where everything only had slight coloring in Gold and Silver. It was amazing to see a full game in full color in the graphics. The music not only contributed to this amazing feeling, it carried through the entire game. Most people will remember the use of trumpets as the most defining element of the soundtrack, and some people think it's a bit too much, but to me, it helps bring out the epicness of the Pokemon journey. You can really feel the desire that they had to have a fully orchestrated soundtrack for a Pokemon game, and with the technical limitations of the Game Boy Advance, they did an incredible job getting that feeling out. To me, the original will always be superior to the remake, and I could only wish that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had a mode where you could listen to the old tunes as you played the game, just like Heart Gold and Soul Silver had. But because the music in particular made such a huge impression on me back then, and it still does today, I still listen to the original Ruby and Sapphire soundtrack every once in a while. So that is why Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire is my number 4.
Neat.
Nice. Yeah, out of all the Pokemon games, I'd say Ruby and Sapphire are probably the most memorable tunes for me as well. I think that mountain, what was it called? Shoot. Mount... Come on, Cosmo. You have to know the mountain,
Mount Chimney?
Right? No, it's one with. It's the one you have to. Isn't there only one mountain?
Meteor Falls?
Nah. Okay, maybe I'm thinking the wrong Pokemon game. This is gonna drive me nuts now. It's Mount something. Something. I thought. I kept thinking like Rayquaza was up there, but it's not. No, it's
Oh, that's Sky Tower.
Yeah, it's Sky Tower. Yeah, it's. Now I have to Google this right now because this is gonna drive me
right now, right the fuck now.
Googling intensifies.
Oh yeah,
but I can't remember. It's probably gonna come to me right as I'm trying to search it too. Mount freaking anyway. Don't mind me. Carry on.
It's like when you try to look up a song but you don't know how it goes, so you just go like you type in the lyrics or like do 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 da 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 song.
Yeah, and it surprisingly works.
Oh, that's what it is. Mount Pyre. Fucking
Mount Pyre.
I couldn't think of it. Yes, Mount Pyre is one of the best themes from there, in my opinion. Even though I couldn't remember the name to save my life, apparently.
It happens to us all.
The rival trainer battle music is so good. Same with like the team Magma or Aqua leader music, so good. I could keep on forever. I just love so many tracks from that game. Anyway, moving on to number 3. What do you have, Icewire?
It's a game that we were actually just speaking about, and one of the games that we talked about in regards to content ID. But Life is Strange is my number 3.
Yes, so good.
Now, despite its issues with the whole content ID thing, because there's a lot of copyrighted music in the game, the soundtrack itself is really, really great. I mean, there's a lot of like indie music, and typically I'm not really into indie sort of music, but I don't know, there's just something about the soundtrack. It's like really chill and relaxed, and there's a lot of emotion in it, and it just works really well with the game, especially like the I can't remember the guy's name that does the song, but it's a song called Obstacles, which is like the main song for like Life is Strange. And it's so bloody good. It's like my favorite track from the game, honestly. And I don't know, there's just something about the music that's just really, really nice, and like it fits well with whatever's happening. I mean, there are a few like really, really emotional scenes where like just the right song comes in like faintly in the background, and it's like, that works so good. Whoever picked the music needs a pay rise. I just love it a lot. So yeah, that's my number 3 pick.
In that game in particular, there was, when I was playing it on my Xbox, there was a very, I'm not going to spoil anything for people who hasn't played it, but there was a very, very important scene, let me just put it that way, that had a song playing throughout almost the whole thing. There was only a few lines of dialogue at the end of it, but my Xbox did not load the music, so it was just pure silence.
Oh.
So it's like,
horrible.
This is weird. There's no sound. What's going on? And then suddenly someone speaks up, and I'm like, whoa! Someone said something.
Oh, that's sad.
And I could not understand, so I tried playing it again. Still no music. I looked at on YouTube to see if there was supposed to be anything, and they played it with music. So like, okay, I guess my Xbox is just having a tiff. So
that's
weird.
sad.
But yes, I completely agree with you. The music in that game is so relaxing, very special, and really, what's the word? Like, you're really very atmospheric. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Like, it just has like a really chill vibe to it, even if there's something like really, really serious going on in the background or like something sad happening. There's this, or like you're walking down the hall in the game and like some random side character says something snarky to you with this really chill music playing in the background. I don't know, it just works really well.
Yeah, very good one. Okay, Krakka, you're number 3?
Well, unfortunately, you guys don't play too many MMOs, so you probably won't feel my feels on this one. But my choice for number 3 was Final Fantasy XIV, which is the MMO, not the other MMO, Final Fantasy XI. We're talking about the newer one, and not like the crappy version of it that existed long ago. I'm talking about its current iteration, the Realm Reborn version, I guess you could call it. But I forget who did a lot of the music composing for this one. It's not Nobu, because I know Nobu did a lot of the Final Fantasy works. It's another guy. I think his name's Soken. I kind of forget though. But the music in the game is incredible, to say the least. It's very impactful at the right moments, like during cutscenes and for epic boss battles. It really has these sick themes that come to play, and it really gets you hyped up for the boss battles. And they're even like the goofiest boss battle in the game that is still actually kind of hard, which involves you fighting a bunch of Moogles, has like a very similar theme to This Is Halloween from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nice.
It has like a similar jingle to it, so it kind of sticks in your head, and it gets very infectious, and it's kind of drives you crazy a little bit. And like
Sounds
awesome. just kind of like with like what they did with Donkey Kong Country, where they had music that sets the area pretty well. It's kind of the same thing for this too, but like even better. Like, and like the composers, like the way he can go from one type of music to another is ridiculous, because like they have mostly like, you know, chill music in the open areas, more serious battle music in the dungeons, and then you have a raid on Alexander, which is like this giant mechanical robot, and the music does this drastic shift into like techno music while you're in the robot, and it's
nice.
and it's something that like I kind of expected but didn't expect. I didn't foresee that they would come up with with multiple different genres within the same game. I kind of expected to stay more just fantasy kind of music, you know, like, and you kind of see in RPGs they don't really typically get into anything too far outside of that spectrum. So it's actually one of my favorite raids too, not because of the music, because the music is so catchy and memorable, and oh man, it's just it gets me every time. But
nice.
Yeah, like they do great, and they even have music interjections even between boss battles when it changes phases. Sometimes the music will change too, and they have a lot of music with vocals in it too, which only serves to enhance certain moments. It doesn't actually detract. I know sometimes vocals may detract from things, especially if it's fighting with people talking. Then it's kind of like, okay, and you get kind of grumpy about it. I do sometimes when vocals are fighting with characters talking and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, somebody needs to calm down here. But yeah, like there's so much music for the game. It's ridiculous how much music, because it's an MMO, of course, and they just got to keep adding and adding and adding to it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know, and I really can't think of like a very harsh low point for the music. All of it is pretty much on point almost all the time. Even in dungeons or bosses or whatever, you know, I'm always feel like I'm in the moment, and they got the epic vocals in the background. Like there's one boss that's like basically like a knight themed boss with a bunch of knights that follow him around and attack you and stuff, and it's got very like, I don't know how to say knightly sounding music or like medieval sounding music. Like it's very, all of it is just so good. I was really hard pressed to not make this my number 2. But, you know, the other one I picked for number 2 just had a small edge above it because of how much I listened to it. But
yeah.
And I also mentioned about the genre thing, too, because I totally just remembered, like, not only have they done techno, they've done, like, screamo in there as well,
Nice.
or even like very dark like death metal type of stuff
Interesting.
too. Yeah, which is really strange. The genre jumping is like all over the place in the game, and I'm surprised it's all the same composer. I don't know how he does it. It
Wow,
amazes me.
That's incredible.
Yeah, to think
Sounds
somebody
wicked,
that
honestly.
can come through and do these genre jumps, because I mean, I don't know, I've never composed in my life. Maybe that's something that a good composer can do, but I always thought composers stuck to usually one or a couple different types of genres and didn't like do drastic jumps like from classical to death metal or something like that, But yeah, so that's why Final Fantasy 14 is my number 3 pick.
Nice.
Nice pick.
Thanks.
That sounds like a clusterfuck of awesome music.
It is. It is. There's like 6 or 7 different soundtracks because there's so much music. It's a huge game because it's MMO nature, and
Wow.
they keep adding to it. So it's fun.
Okay. My number 3 is a game we have mentioned before on this podcast, not today, but a previous episode. It is Shovel Knight.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, just like I mentioned, VVV as a nostalgic game that technically isn't nostalgic because it's a modern game. Shovel Knight is a prime example of that. The controls are simple, just like on an NES. The pixel art and colors are made to match the simple color palette of the NES. And the music is no exception either. It's the closest thing you can get to a full 8-bit soundtrack with just as memorable tunes and melodies as if they were from an actual game from the 80s. As soon as you boot up the game and see the menu screen itself and the first stage, you're not only filled with a huge feeling of nostalgia, you're also feeling incredibly heroic. This is the soundtrack every heroic game needs, and the soundtrack doesn't fail to deliver epic tunes throughout the entire game. That is why the soundtrack in Shovel Knight is on my number 3.
Awesome.
It does make you really feel heroic, even if you have a shovel.
Shovel Knight.
Even with it's just the heroic poses and the sounds, and you know, you have a shovel, but it makes you seem like so amazing with this shovel.
Exactly. The way he runs too, it's like very off to save the world.
The music is just so perfect for that game. Oh man.
The one that stands out for me the most, besides the first level, that is the one in the air base.
Oh, Propeller Knights?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty good one.
Because the game is pretty hard at times, at least it was for me, so I died a lot in that one. So that is, of course, the tune I remember the most, but it's such a great tune, so it doesn't even matter. All right. What is your number 2, Icewire?
Okay, so my number 2 is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Ooh.
A lot of the music in that, it's I know some of them, a few of the tracks are actually like based off of like old Bulgarian wedding songs, which is actually quite cool. There's something about like just that it creates like a really like intense sort of hype atmosphere, especially during like a boss battle. If you come across this massive like monster that you have to fight, it's just like there's a song called, I think it's like Silver for Humans or something, or no, Silver for Monsters. And it creates just this massive hype, and like, because it's really like fast paced and upbeat, and it just works as you're just rolling around this monster trying to dodge its attacks and, you know, basically cut it to pieces. And there's another song, it's called Steel for Humans, and that works really well, like when you're fighting like humans, obviously. Because
nice.
I don't know, it just has like a really like intense emotional feeling to it. And I've actually just been what's the word? Alerted to a meme around that song, where there's a meme around that song called Banana Tiger, where it sounds like the person singing is saying Banana Tiger. And and I listened to it and now I cannot get it out of my head. So now I just hear this random Bulgarian lady just chanting "Banana Tiger" over and over again, in this like really really dramatic way. But other than that, the soundtrack itself is really good. I mean, it's just, even as you're wandering around, all the cities, or like, out in the fields or forests, it just feels like really relaxed, and just it has like a nice tone to it where when you're just wandering, it doesn't feel so intense. It just mellows down, and it's all like really chill and like I said, relaxed. So
nice.
That's why that's my number 2.
Oh, awesome.
I still need to play that game.
It's so good. So
sad I haven't.
So good.
I want to play it too, but I feel like if I get into it, I'm really like 300 hours later, and then I'll finally be moving on with my life.
And honestly, I still haven't finished the game, but it's still really really good. I mean,
nice.
Just the music adds to the atmosphere, especially with like this really really faint sort of like harp kind of music playing in the background, as you're like in a cutscene, with like Geralt talking to like some like random NPC or one of the main characters like Triss or Yennefer or Ciri or Dandelion. It just works really really well.
Nice. Okay, Krakka, what is your number 2?
Well, this soundtrack is not surprisingly from one of my favorite games, and because the game is epic, the soundtrack has to be epic too. And what I chose for my number 2 was Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Ooh,
I just love the title of that game.
I think I watched you stream that. I think.
Like, it is nothing but a action-packed, balls to the wall, like action hack and slash game, and like the music, oh my god, just it makes it so much like more epic than it already is. Like, and it always comes in at the right moments, and like you're doing like during bosses you do quick time events, and it makes sure that the music, certain parts of the music comes up at certain points during those events to make it sound even more amazing and really get you hyped to beat this boss and slice him to pieces. And I mean, it's honestly, you're about a ninja slicing everything up, so there's not really any mercy in this game, not even remotely. And this is probably one of my few exceptions to, I don't really like, there is vocals typically kind of fighting with boss talk, although they're smart about it, that usually the music will tone down a little bit while the boss is trying to talk, so that way the vocals of the boss don't override the vocals of the music, or vice versa, so you can still interpret what things are saying. But after playing through it so much, I just kind of focus on the music anyway. But it's fantastic. Like, it's pretty much almost an all vocal OST. There's not too many tracks that are non-vocal, but
interesting.
It's really crazy. Like, even like the only times it's not really that vocal is just when you're wandering around and not currently killing something. But the moment you get into combat, or the moment something sees you, the vocals will cue right in, and you'll immediately get into like that kind of mode where you're ready to, all right, I'm ready to cut some stuff up, And the boss music is like amazing, and I think it's way suited to the bosses. And like, it's funny because I actually thought about doing a video about just the soundtrack from Metal Gear Rising at some point, because the music that goes with the bosses is the vocals are themed about the boss you're fighting typically, or at least really? About their morals or their ideals, or about their life. If you listen carefully, you can kind of hear it, but it's much better to like sit down and actually like listen to the soundtrack. But I didn't even realize
that's really awesome.
Yeah, like the final boss's like his sound is just like, it doesn't have to be this way or something like that, but or in the end it has to be this way. I forget what it's called, but like, it's not only like suited for the boss, but the vocals add another layer to that to give you an idea of the boss themselves. Typically, like the one for you when you're fighting the very beginning, you're fighting one of the Metal Gears. It's more about just cutting him to pieces because Metal Gear really doesn't have a personality. It's just a giant robot. But one of the earlier bosses is a dog that's AI controlled, and he's kind of trying to understand kind of be his own person, even though he's an AI. And his song is about him being. It says, "I'm my own master now, and I'm trying to break free."
Awesome.
And it's really cool, and it's some stuff that you don't always necessarily pay attention to, because even when you're really engaged in boss fights, you're kind of focused in on not dying and trying to kill the boss before it kills you. But it's after a while when I started listening to them that I kind of picked up on this stuff, and I was like, holy shit, it blew my mind when I started listening to these lyrics and how they got them in there and stuff. So it's to that depth, that is why I made it my number 2, or that's why I chose Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance as my number 2.
Nice. Okay, my number 2 is Undertale.
I knew it.
That's a surprise.
Yeah. It had to be on this list somewhere,
Yeah, definitely.
It's inevitable. There's very little to say about Undertale that hasn't been said already, especially its soundtrack, which has met countless of remixes and covers on the internet, with more still coming to this day. It is an iconic soundtrack that mixes chiptune with sound fonts and synths in an incredible varied music experience that not only creates very memorable songs, but also uses these tools to target different genres throughout the game. From the klezmer you find in Papyrus's theme, to the mesmerizing, almost Middle Eastern vibe you get from Metaton's theme, to the almost power metal sounding opening in Undyne's theme, the music never fails to surprise you. And filled with musical cues, also known as leitmotifs, found in other songs from his own soundtrack, I had an incredible time trying to map out which melody you could hear in how many songs and try to find a meaning to all of them. Like how the theme from The Ruins is found in Undyne's battle theme, how Toriel and Asgore share the same melody, and so on and so forth. This is the first and only video game soundtrack I have on vinyl, and I do not regret my purchase.
Nice.
And that is why Undertale is my number 2.
I agree with you on that. I mean, Undertale has a bloody amazing soundtrack.
Absolutely.
It's just something about it, like you said, it incorporates so many different aspects and with different symphonies and whatnot. It just that's my reaction. Just it's so good. So good. Too good.
I really admire Toby Fox for not only being the mastermind behind the game overall, but also creating the whole soundtrack himself. And such an epic soundtrack too.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, it's I don't know, with the boss battles of Undyne and was it Metatron?
Metaton, yeah.
Metaton. I'm having a brain fart. Excuse me.
That's
I started thinking of Transformers. Don't ask me why. But the music for each individual one, it's so well done, and it almost gives the characters an extra bit of personality in a way. It's that's their theme, So if you hear it, I don't know, if you hear the song, it's oh yeah, that's Undyne's theme, or that's Papyrus's, or Sans, or and so on and so forth.
And Sans' one in particular is just so goofy, and it follows his voice, quote unquote, well.
Yeah,
because it's and it just fits it so well. So yeah, each character definitely have their own theme. Alrighty, we are finally at number 1.
Numero uno.
Which game did you pick, Icewire?
This will probably come as no surprise to anyone that knows of me, but my number 1 pick is Skyrim.
Called it.
Hey, yeah.
I listen to that on like a daily basis, just like the atmospheric soundtracks where like, I don't know, like Whiterun has its own like little soundtrack and Dragon's Reach has its own little soundtrack, and it's just so like well done and peaceful and soothing. And then when you're like in battle, it's like this really epic choir music going on in the background, and it's like, holy shit, this makes fighting a dragon or I don't know, a skeever epic as hell.
Absolutely.
And like during the main missions and whatnot, both with the main storyline of Skyrim and the DLCs, Dawnguard and Dragonborn, like the soundtrack for those alone are so well done. Like I still get, it's been years and years since I started playing the game, and I still get like these really, really like excited hype chills whenever I enter Sovngarde. It's just so good. Like
Nice.
it just makes it just like this slow choir just building up and getting higher and like louder, and like you just feel like this hype just building up along with the music, and it's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good. So that is my pick for number 1.
Just the opening theme itself is so great.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that too. I mean, that's bloody brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
I will admit, whenever I boot up the game, sometimes I will just sit there and I will attempt to just like do this like weird yodeling along to the theme. It's cringy and terrible as hell, but I love it.
Great. That is good music, definitely. Krakka, what is your number 1?
Sadly, mine has already been said already. But my number 1 is actually going to be Undertale.
No
Gasp.
way.
Gasp. I mean, I couldn't think of like any game that I have listened to more than Undertale by far. Just there's just too much tied up in the music, the memories and the feelings and the numerous thousands of remixes that are just everywhere and still really good, and then you got the people who are making the fan game spin-offs who are making their own twists of the music that still sound like close to the character but not quite so much. It's really like you said before, like the music is like a very large part of the character itself. Just
Yeah.
it's just so iconic to the character and even sounds like the character, which sounds really weird to say music sounds like a character, but it does. I don't know how to elaborate on that, but you know, it's just every character has their own theme, but it's so outright recognizable. It's crazy.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
And like I mean, you said like most stuff that I probably was going to say about it, which I was kind of like, oh man, I should have picked a different number 1, but I really can't. I really can't change like how often I've listened to Undertale music, you know, because it's probably on a couple days to like daily basis. Probably I have it playing somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
But the music is amazing. I mean, like it's all pretty much perfect. Like there isn't like a whole lot of tracks in the game, but they're so memorable and so impactful, and you know, they suit the area, they suit the mood. Like even when you're trying to do the genocide route, like the music.
Oh boy, the music! Oh my god!
Like the funny thing is that the music really isn't changed, but it's altered in a way to really make it still impactful.
Yeah.
Because it gets extremely creepy and out there. Like you never thought, you never would think like slowing down some tracks would really make it that creepy, but boy, does it make it freaky.
Absolutely.
When you slow down those tracks.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I remember when I played, I accidentally started a genocide route. I accidentally, because I didn't realize there was like a morality system. And let me tell you, as soon as that, like, the creepy music started up, I was just like, nope. And then I restarted the game and went the pacifist route, because it was that freaky to me. Like you said, you wouldn't think slowing down like an audio track would be so creepy, but holy shit. Like, dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah, it's severely fucked up. I mean, of course, if you do the genocide route, you get to hear one of the best tracks in the game too, and at the very end.
My God.
which is a very famous track, actually. That I probably would not have heard outside of actually listening to it, because I couldn't bring myself to do a genocide route. Along with the creepy music and the fact that, like, I'd feel legitimately not cool about murdering people.
As I said earlier, heart of gold.
True fact. Heart of gold.
It's like I can't think of a game that does its music like is so close to perfection as Undertale does, and it keeps it memorable, keeps it impactful, and can play it again and again and still get you again and again. Like, oh shit, that's Papyrus. I know that theme. What's he up to now? But yeah, it's pretty awesome, pretty dang awesome, and that's why my number one pick is Undertale.
Yes.
Nice.
Cool, so now we're down to my number one, which is Bastion.
Ooh.
It was difficult for me to determine whether it should be Undertale or Bastion as my number one, but ultimately I knew it had to be Bastion for one simple reason. It is a soundtrack that is strong enough to stand on its own. If you take the game away from the soundtrack, you're left with an incredible album that you wouldn't necessarily associate with a video game. And to me, that is an incredible achievement. It is a soundtrack that almost invented its own genre. If I had to describe it to someone who hasn't heard it before, I'd describe it as like trip hop mixed with folk music with a pinch of rock in it. There's heavy electric drums and weird sound effects to make up a solid rhythm section, but also strings and all kinds of eccentric guitars to truly make it stand out. It's difficult to really give it justice with a description like this, so I encourage everyone to go and listen to it yourself. All I can say is that I will forever look up to Darren Korb for being an incredible composer. I love Supergiant for bringing his music out to the public, and I will always look forward to all their future games, especially for the music. And that is why I have Bastion as my number one on my list.
That's a good pick. I mean, I've actually never played Bastion before, but I have listened to the soundtrack. And
exactly. And that was my experience
so
too.
good.
I listened to the soundtrack first before I played the game.
Like, I thought it was just like, because I wasn't actually aware it was like a video game soundtrack, so I just listened to it as it was. So when I found out that it was for a video game, it was like, holy shit, no way. So then, I don't know. That's a, like you said, it definitely, like, even if you take away the game, it can stand on its own, like, perfectly.
Exactly. It's such a good soundtrack. I listen to it quite often, and I did listen to it quite often when I first discovered it. So I played through the game after that, and I could just, oh yeah, that's that piece, that's that song over there, this and that. So in that way, my game experience was, I'd not say ruined, but less interesting than it could have been, perhaps, because the music is such a strong component in that game.
I agree.
That and the narrator.
That narrator, though, yeah.
I think overall with like all of our picks, it just shows that, like, soundtrack, it may not seem like much, but it can have such a massive impact on like your gaming experience, you know?
Yes.
Like, it doesn't matter what type of game it is, whether it's like a game like Undertale or a game like The Witcher 3 or, you know, Stardew Valley, I don't know. But it doesn't matter what type of game it is, just like if the soundtrack is good, it really improves your, you know, like overall experience with the game.
Absolutely. And just from talking about this and hearing all of you guys and your picks, I thought of a couple of more games that I could have added. I mean, it's an endless list, and I have to give some shout outs to some honorable mentions. There's Mole Mania, which is a great Game Boy game, and the music is so great. It's probably the best Game Boy music I've ever heard. Then there is The Neverhood, and I don't blame you for not knowing the game, but all I'm gonna say is go just listen to the soundtrack. It is such a huge part of that game's atmosphere and style. Then there's Journey. Absolutely beautiful music.
Yeah, Journey had very beautiful music.
Rayman, which is one of my childhood games. Great music. And Diddy Kong Racing for the N64.
Yeah, I forgot about that game. That does have pretty good music too.
Very good music. I played through it last year, and all the songs just hit me completely. Like, oh yeah, all these tunes are so great. just the intro to Diddy Kong Racing is epic.
Yes.
If I had to mention any, like, you know, honorable mentions, it would probably be LA Noire, because like I don't know, like the old like 40s or like 50s music, it's so good. And it just like, since it's, you know, it's like a cop game basically, and I don't know, it just adds to like the suspense and tension because you got like the old school like jazz music or whatever. It just it's so good. That and Far Cry 3. That because there's a segment in there where you have to burn an entire like field of weed, and you do it to this like really like weird reggae Skrillex music, and it works so good. It's so awesome.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Wow.
So. Yeah, I think the song was called Make It Bun Them or something, but point is that it was such a bloody good moment, and like it's probably one of my most memorable moments while playing a video game.
Nice.
Yeah, if I had to give any honorable mentions, it'd probably be probably the Civilization 5. I almost want to say Civ series, but I haven't really played much prior to 5, and like the intros and like the themes as you're playing the game are kind of subtle, but they're very like cinematic, I guess. Like it's like the like epic themes of various different types of music depending on the civilization you're playing. Of course, it's more themed, you know. If you're playing the Indians, it's closer to like Indian tribal music, and if you're playing like the Germans, it's close to like that time period of European German, not like German. I don't know what German music would be defined as, but it's it's, you know, it's all themed around what nation you're typically playing at the time. Which I thought was kind of cool. Nice. And
I noticed that too when I played.
Yeah, and Necrodancer is a big favorite of mine, even if I'm not very good at the game. It has so much good music, it's ridiculous. Like,
it's ridiculous. Pretty much built around the music, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Like, the music is like the core of the game. That's how you play the game and how you get around in it and stuff, too. So I guess that shouldn't be too much of a shock.
I guess so, yeah. Alrighty, that wraps up this episode, pretty much. Thank you so much for listening. It was a long one, new record.
Hey, sometime I think it was a reasonable length. But as long as we all had fun, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you got here through a misclick, we hope that it turned out to be a happy little mistake for you.
Yeah.
That's bound to happen sometime.
It will happen eventually. Somebody's going to mess up
happens
in
to
the
us
different
all.
podcast.
Yeah. I am Cosmironic. You can find me on Twitter if you like. Where can we find you, Icewire? Where are you at?
Well, you can find me on Twitter. Icewire was taken because my username is always taken. I swear to God, it drives me insane.
Oh, I thought that was... I never realized that's what it actually meant. Oh my God, I've been wrong this whole time.
Yep.
Oh, God,
That and ice_wire if you're like an Instagram person. And obviously on YouTube as Icewire. So that's where you can find me.
Nice. What about you, Krakka? Where are you at?
Twitter is mostly where I talk, if not on Discord. But, my Twitter is just KrakkaCafe, at KrakkaCafe. Pretty straightforward there. And Discord's a little more complicated, but, it's probably easier just to talk to me through Twitch or something. twitch.tv.krakka. I already screwed up the web address. It's twitch.tv/KrakkaCafe. Go me.
Awesome. And that's the three of us. We are the Misclick Podcast, and you are simply amazing. Thanks for now, and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.